It is now time to experience the buzz, a podcast that takes an inside look at amazing people doing amazing things. Get ready for some great conversation that will be fascinating, educational, and inspiring. We will also leave room to help small businesses in a big way. Now, here's your host, entrepreneur Steve Buzzard.
Hey everyone, welcome in. It's another edition of Experience the Buzz podcast. That's right, rolling strong. And today, we are talking fitness. Monique Leacox, she is the owner of Pace Fitness Sacramento. I'm just telling you, I just finished the conversation. You're going to hear it. It is good. It is so educational. More on Monique in just a second. It's now time for What's the Buzz? So, as we've been saying many episodes now in a row, we now have a presence on YouTube. And so I invite you, for all of you that like to listen on the audio end, whether it be through the website at buzzardball.com, through Spotify, through Apple, guess what? Head on over to YouTube and see the visual side of Experience the Buzz. My producer, Michael Kenobi, has done a great job of giving you that kind of that visual feel of what the podcast is like. And so we've got a few episodes underneath our belt. And so again, check that out. Very simple. Just go to YouTube and look up and type in Experience the Buzz and you are good to go. Also, if you would like to support the program, we do appreciate that. You can do that two ways. If you just want to do it personally, I have this little thing called Buy Me a Coffee. And so if you go to buzzardball.com and you click Buy Me a Coffee, you can actually, it's kind of like a tip jar, I guess you could say, or you can give on a monthly basis. We actually have one listener that comes to us on a monthly basis, of course, giving that great content to them week by week. But again, if you just want to drop in, like I just had someone recently buy me 5 cups of coffee. Now, what's that mean? Because you can give it 1, 5, 10, or you can personalize it. He gave me 5 cups of $5 coffee, so a $25 tip, which, by the way, I'm very thankful for. Thank you. The other way that you can get involved is you can become a sponsor on the program. That's right. If you go to buzzardball.com and just say become a sponsor at the top of the page, it will show you what packages we have. And just so you know, with all the packages, they're all customizable. Let me show you what I'm talking about, because 2 of them that we have, well, they do a monthly. Another one, I do a trade out, and the other one, I get beef jerky from Pit Boss Jerky. I mean, so whatever it looks like for you so that I can help promote your small business, which is what this program is all about, then boom, I am all for it. So that is What's the Buzz. Now let's get more to our guest. It's Monique Leacox. She is the owner of Pace Fitness Sacramento, located on Auburn Boulevard. She has a tremendous story to tell when it comes to fitness and education. We're going to learn a lot today about CrossFit. I'm not sure what you know, but after today, it's got a whole new meaning for me. Also about fitness itself and why this place, Pace Fit Sac, is unique from other gyms that you would find around the area. I'm kind of figuring after this, you might be signing up. It's that good. So again, it's Monique Leacox, and here she is. Enjoy the talking conversation. Hello, everyone. It is another edition of Experience the Buzz. We keep rolling on. Spring, summer, it's all here. Beautiful weather, and today we're going to talk fitness. That's right. We're talking about Pace Fitness Sacramento, and Monique Leacox is with us. She is the owner of this gym, okay? And I know when you say gym, it's like, oh man, you either belong to one and you are fully committed, but for most of us, we know how it goes with gyms. It's a hard thing, but I think after you meet Monique, you're gonna be like, okay, where is this place and where do I sign up? Because everything that I have read coming into this interview, I think you're gonna be very, very impressed. So Monique, first of all, welcome to Experience the Buzz.
Thank you.
Okay, so I
had
to ask you, have you ever been on a podcast before?
Yes, this is my third.
Let's go. So you have some experience.
Yeah.
So
and I talk to people every day, all day. So I'm good at talking to people.
I was going to say that is your deal. So Pace Fit Sac, that's kind of the abbreviation of what you like to call it. You are located at 4755 Auburn Boulevard, and you have great background, 15 years as a personal trainer. CrossFit is your thing, which I want to talk about because that's unique in itself. So 10 years of CrossFit training, 8 years of CrossFit coaching. You've coached cross country and track. So your pedigree is very strong. I start here. Why would you open a gym, right? As a small business owner, what would take me through that process? I want to go right there. And what was it that made you say, hey, I wanted to open a brick and mortar that I can put my stamp of approval on?
Well, it didn't happen that quickly. So I started out working at California Family Fitness as a personal trainer and developed a group of athletes who I worked with over the years. I was there for 5 years. And we transitioned from personal training to small groups because I was in school and competing in track and cross country. And so during seasons, my availability became really limited. And then outside of seasons, I could see them individually. So in season, my clients would group up so that I could continue to service all of them, but on a much shorter time allowance. So that's how group training started for me. And then they all got to know each other, and some of them liked the group training better. And so they stuck with group training. And then some of them liked to pop out and get some personalized attention, during my summers and in between my competitive seasons. So I ended up moving away for 1 year. When I came back, I was pregnant with my second child. And I started to just pick up my clients again, mostly in their own homes, or we'd go to parks or, go to the track and do little track workouts and things like that. And that, once I had my second baby, turned into them coming to me, because then I had a 3-year-old and a newborn. And so taking them with me was less realistic. So they started coming to my garage, and that was the original Pace Fitness, because that just that's how it evolved, right? And so they were coming in groups, they were coming individually, however they preferred. I got my first business license at that point with all the limitations of running it out of the home, managing that. And then that just grew to a point of needing another location. Parking became an issue, right? Scheduling became an issue. There was really strict rules about how many people you could see a day and how many people you could have there at once. And it just became like, oh, I can't service everyone anymore. So that's how the gym opened to be a separate brick and mortar away from my home.
I love that. Okay. So it started in the garage. I imagine people would not come through the house, right? They'd strictly have to come through the garage, right?
Well, okay. So my house became just a community space, and a lot of my clients brought their kids with them. So the kids would hang out inside, in the playroom. And, the house was just, some of my clients would take showers, in the guest bathroom. And it was just part of the gym. It was all part of the thing, and these were people I'd known already for up to 7 years at that point. And so they were family. It was, they'd come in and have coffee with me after, sit on the patio and let the kids play outside or whatever. And then, we got to relive that during 2020, because when my brick and mortar shut down, I brought everyone home again and set up an outdoor gym. So that was really cool. We actually got to do it twice.
See, and that's great because you had already had the experience of doing it. So like your pivot wasn't too difficult. So because you were like, well, let's just recreate what we started when this all began. I am curious as a small business owner, because for me, I do not own a brick and mortar with my job of being a podcaster, a DJ, and then running youth basketball. So I don't have an office per se. You're looking at my office right here. It's a home office. But I always wonder with small business owners when they make that transition, like you did from your garage to brick and mortar, what that process was like. Because to me, like I can't wrap my mind around it, right? But with a gym, it makes sense. You've got to have that space where you can be able to serve as many people as you can. Take me through that.
Well, back then what I did was I took my client base and I offered them a year of training at a good rate, and they paid it all up front. So that provided me with the capital I needed to invest in new equipment and new flooring. I also had another coach that I worked with, and we went in on the space together. So I purchased all the new equipment and all the new flooring using that money from my clients. He paid essentially like a rent fee to me for the equipment and the flooring, which covered my rent at the facility. So I started in zero expenses, zero income. And other than, I guess, like some insurance fees, and there's probably a little bit of expense there, but nothing, really nothing, right? But what that did was it allowed any growth on top of that to be pure profit, right? And that's kind of how it began. And we're talking pretty small numbers. I think I had like 26 members back then. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you know, we're not talking hundreds of members prepaid.
But still, I mean, no, hey, those are numbers. You know, my whole mantra as a DJ is it only takes one to party, right? So you've got 20 some. That's good. So when did you open? When did you open the brick and mortar?
Oh, that was in November. I want to say 2018, 17.
Okay. Somewhere in that area.
Something like that. Yeah, 19? I don't remember. I really don't.
That's okay, because what it leads into is when you see that space, you know, is it like a home when you step into a home where you're like, okay, this is the space, and then you start getting the vision of what it looks like. And from the photos that I've seen, it's like you've really created something pretty special. So take me through that as well, because just having the vision of what you want the gym space to look like for your clientele.
Okay, well, there's a lot more to this story.
I love it.
The gym went from, we started at CalFit. Then I was training them in their homes and at parks and tracks. Then I was training in my garage. And then I moved them to a CrossFit gym where I was hired on as a gym manager. And I kind of let Pace Fitness go. Then that quickly came to an end. We went back to the garage. Then I renovated my first brick and mortar in partnership with another coach. Then that place flooded. And so I went to a new space, and that was my own space. Is that like my first own space outside of the garage. And then that got shut down by COVID. So then I moved to the backyard of the property that I was living at during that time and built an outdoor gym. And then I merged with a CrossFit gym with a different owner. It's actually the same gym from before, but new owners, merged with them. That went south really fast. So then they were booted out, and then I renovated the gym, and now that's where we are. So there's a lot more to that story.
It's like, I feel like you rehearsed that and had that ready to go, and you've told that story so many times you can't count.
I have told it so many times. Yeah. So really, like, in terms of building gyms, I've done it more than I should have.
Right. Yeah.
Man, I've actually built a lot of gyms. Yeah.
Okay. I was not expecting that. That's not how I envisioned that answer to come out. So let's go.
A smooth process.
And you know what? That represents kind of the back scene of what it is to be a small business owner. And that's what I love about this podcast, is being able to hear stories like yours, Monique, in which you really bring that to light. Like, everyone may look at it and see a certain something, but no one understands how much work goes on in behind the scenes. And obviously the adversity with a capital A for you. So present day, your space right now, talk to me about that present space, and let's hope the present space lasts for a long time.
Yeah. We're set up really nicely now. Our new space is 9,000 square feet. It's set up to deliver CrossFit. It's set up to deliver our Olympic weightlifting class, which is a totally separate program. We even have a space for yoga, which I haven't established yet, but we have the space for it. We have enough space that we have just open gym members. So they come in, they use the facility. They don't have to be in class, and it doesn't pull away from classes. We also deliver CrossFit Kids classes in the summer. We deliver to sports teams. So we have some competitive soccer teams that come in and do supplemental training with us. We're looking at working with a local baseball team as well soon in the next season. So we have plenty of space. Now my job is to utilize it. So that's where the pressure comes in. It's like, okay, we have all the space and it's empty. We've got those hours midday, mid-morning and mid-afternoon. It's like, how do we fill those and utilize it and get people using it for fitness during that time? So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Brand new bathrooms. Everything's brand new. It's beautiful. Brand new equipment from Rogue Fitness, top of the line stuff. So yeah.
All right, first segment in the books, always a lot of fun. And of course, this is time that we like to highlight our small business owners. Don't hit that fast forward 30 seconds. Why? Because our small business owners are very important, not only to you, but to the program. And so we want to highlight them. Pit Boss Jerky being the first. Joe Green, who is featured in episode number 26 right here on Experience the Buzz. He's got 13 flavors of beef jerky. The guy is obsessed. Yes, he has a day job. This is what he does on the side, but he is really, really good at it. The latest flavor, the 13th, is White Bull's Barbecue. Before that is named after this show called Experience the Buzz. Then you have Raspberry Apple Chipotle, Island Teriyaki, amongst other flavors. Now, how do you get your hands on it? There's two ways. You can call what is called the order board, the number being 916-769-6807, or you can find the Pit Boss, Mr. Joe Green, at usually one of the farmers markets. I know he is very popular at the Carmichael Farmers Market, which is every Sunday at Carmichael Park. So whatever you do, check him out, get your hands on the beef jerky. He'll probably even let you try a sample. You'll see what I mean. I don't buy any other beef jerky because of Pit Boss Jerky. So a big thank you to PBJ. And it's not just because they're a sponsor. It's really good beef jerky. Also, want to thank Little Whale Swim School, Anya Hall, who is featured in episode 6. That's right. She's in the single digits early on in ETB history. LittleWhaleSwim.com. They are the premier swim school in Sacramento. Big reason, two big reasons. Number one, they're year round. That's right. They go all the way throughout the year, not just during the summer that maybe you and I are used to that are in our 40s, 50s, or whatever. This is for everybody from babies all the way up to adults. They have classes for everyone. The next best part is the custom-built indoor facility. They are located at 4106 El Camino Avenue. You can't miss them. The flag is always flying out front, and of course they have classes again for everybody and all year round. Again, littlewhaleswim.com, located at 4106 El Camino Avenue. So big thank you to Little Whale Swim School and Pit Boss Jerky, two of our 4 sponsors. Now let's get back to our conversation with Monique Leacox.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss an episode of Experience the Buzz by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. It means everything. Now, back to the show.
Monique Leacox, she's the owner and coach at Pace Fit Sac, but it's Pace Fitness Sacramento. It's located on Auburn Boulevard, and we're just kind of getting into the nuts and bolts of what this great business is all about. And, I'm thinking as an owner, you had your solid core, and now you're talking about things that you're opening up to. We know there's a lot of gyms around, but these are very unique because I feel in a way you give what would be called the personal experience. I went on Yelp and I just looked at the reviews, the Google reviews and Yelp reviews and everything, and everyone spoke, the first name they would say is your name. Now, I know you have other coaches there that are on your team, but there's no doubt in my mind before even meeting you, I said, okay, this is what the personal touch is all about. Am I on cue when I say that?
Yeah, I mean, we have CrossFit gyms left and right of us. We have obviously the Cal Fits, we have 24-hour fitness. There's lots of gyms, lots of options. I would say the difference between us, there's a huge difference between a CrossFit gym and what we call like a big box gym, the 24-hour fitness and the Cal Fits. When you come to a CrossFit gym, you work with a coach every time, typically, right? You come to a class or you're getting personal training and there's a coach there teaching you how to move your body better and safer. And that's completely different than if you go to 24-hour fitness or Cal Fit. You just walk in and you do your own thing, right? So that's the main difference between CrossFit and just like a regular gym in terms of experience. Now from CrossFit gym to CrossFit gym, every gym is independently owned. So you get a completely different environment, a completely different set of coaches, a different, feeling when you go in, a different vibe, whatever. And what I've noticed is I've gotten to experience different CrossFit gyms in the area and outside the area. And what I've noticed is the community and the vibe is just a reflection of the owner or the coach that takes most of the classes, right? So it's like if you could pull, a piece out of that human and turn it into a gym, that's what you end up walking into. So they're all unique in their own ways. And I would say Pace Fitness, because of how we originated, which is I was a personal trainer that developed personal relationships with these people who just have continued with me to this day. That's still true of the gym, even though we have 120 members and 4 coaches on the floor. It's still exactly the same. In my personal training sessions, when I had a new mom, I would hold the baby while mom did sit-ups, and we would pass back and forth, and she would stop to breastfeed, and that's how you get that done, right? So it's no different now, even expanded out to class settings. We have moms with 3-month-old babies and coaches holding the baby, and here, let me demonstrate a movement, and passing baby back to mom, and okay, let me have the baby so you can do some movements, and pushing a stroller, and whatever it takes to get someone their workout, right? We have athletes in their 70s and 80s, and some of them need help getting on and off rowers. Some of them can't get onto a bike without a little step because their knee won't come up that high. And it's just setting people up to be able to move, and then teaching them how to move in ways that they are more comfortable, right? Sometimes they'll say, oh, I can't do a squat because it hurts my knee. And all we have to do is teach them how to squat better or in a way that doesn't hurt. And all of a sudden they can squat, right? So that's the idea. And that's true to CrossFit, right? CrossFit has a really interesting reputation. It started out as an exercise program. The founder of CrossFit, he was a personal trainer. He started coaching groups, and it was simply him developing the most efficient way to take regular people and make them more efficient, make them move better, make them stronger, faster, all those great things. And over the years, the reputation of CrossFit, because it is the most effective exercise program in the world, its reputation changed because, so I'll just go ahead and tell you the whole story. So
yeah, no, this is good education.
Awesome. So what happened was he developed this exercise program, regular people just exercising, and he made claims that this was the most effective program in the world for fitness. And to prove it, he put together a competition. Mm-hmm. And that competition was inviting people of all walks of fitness to come in and test their fitness against people who used CrossFit for their fitness. So people came, we triathletes, runners, cyclists, rock climbers, whatever, it didn't matter, weightlifters, gymnasts, they came and they went through a series of tests that tested all the different domains of fitness. And the people who came out on top were doing CrossFit. And so that was his proving ground. So it was like, I have developed the most effective fitness program in the world. If you have something better, come test it, show me, and I will include it in my program. Wow. Right? And year after year, the people who used CrossFit came out on top. That competition turned into a huge, publicized, nationally recognized, watch it on ESPN sport called the CrossFit Games. And then that's what people associated CrossFit with. Professional athletes working out 5 times a day, doing crazy tests of fitness to test their abilities, right? And so they go, oh, I could never do that. But unfortunately, that created this situation where it's like, well, that's just a test. Like, that's not what CrossFit is. That's just a test, right? And that's a professional sport. That's like saying, oh, I can't go shoot hoops with you because have you seen the NBA game that was on last night? Right? It's like,
right.
It's like, I'm just asking you to come in and throw the ball around a little bit, So anyway, so that's CrossFit. It's just a fitness program with sort of a misorientation in the public eye.
So it started out, out with good intentions, but because of what it developed into with the competition, that's when then people looked at it like, oh, I can't do that. So it got away from what it was originally intended to do. So then how did it make its comeback? Because obviously it appears now there's CrossFit at your gym and stuff. What changed in the messaging to get people back on board?
So the truth is our gyms have always been this way. And different gyms, of course, a reflection of the owner, different gyms cater to different athletes and the communities. If you walk into a gym and it's full of 20-year-olds with their shirts off, if you're not a 20-year-old who's going to take your shirt off, that might not be the place for you, right?
I don't think I would fit.
Yeah. But when you walk into a gym that is, oh, you're like, hey, he's older than me. Oh, hey, he's got a little dad bod going. I can do this, you know, and hey, like she's 81 preparing for knee surgery and she's still doing it. Like, you know, it's like different gyms, different CrossFit gyms are all so unique depending on that owner and the communities they foster. So CrossFit's always been that way. It always has. It's the games are a separate thing. There was a huge effort. I think it started in 2019 to shift the public image of CrossFit. And there was some like media and videos coming out with older people performing the movements at intensities that made sense for like an average human. And that was great. That was going on before COVID. And then there was big shifts in the games and how that works and how that runs. And so, but that's sort of like the big CrossFit world, not the little CrossFit world of just like our little gyms. So in my gym, it's always been that way. The barrier is getting people past what they think CrossFit is and then showing them what it is. So I always like, I'll get phone calls. Hey, so what's CrossFit and, you know, what is it like? And is it really intense? Am I going to throw up? And, you know, am I going to get hurt? And so usually what I do is I answer as best I can, but as quickly as possible, I just get them into a class.
Get them in.
Like I can explain and explain and explain, but there's nothing that beats you experiencing us delivering it to you for you. And so I always say your first workout's free. Just come experience it. Don't take my word for it. I can tell you all day that we're going to keep you safe and that you're not going to have any issues. But if you come here and you experience it, you will know for sure.
Yeah. And I understand, Monique, that there would have to be customization. Like you're saying, anybody, young, old, in between, little dad bod, whatever the case is, but also in terms of like, you know, how many times a week they want to come. It's just about getting them in. And I'm glad you spoke to the experience because that's the hard thing about running a business. And I find that on my end too. I have to tell people, especially in relation to basketball and stuff, like what's different with your basketball league that wouldn't be the same as, you know, another league or another camp. I'm all, you know what, come experience it. And like you said, if you want your money back at the end, I'll give it to you because I can't really describe it to you. I can only show you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And a big part of renovating this facility, wrapping it back around to that, was I wanted when they walked in, I wanted them to see a difference. Mm-hmm. So, you know, CrossFit gyms, they can kind of generally look similar, look, similar standards, similar flooring, similar paint, whatever, right? I wanted them to walk in here and see the difference. Like, oh, this place is different than that place or that place, right? And I wanted it to be a reflection of the quality of service that we deliver, right? It's one thing to have like a rundown space and deliver an amazing service, right? It's like, okay, you know, whatever, you make up for it in service. But if the rundown space keeps them from getting the amazing service, then it's a problem, right? And so I wanted the space to be a reflection of the service they're going to get. And so I think we've achieved that for sure.
So what has been your biggest source of getting the word out? Like you just mentioned the numbers, you know, 26, I think you said. Now you're up to 120. A lot of it is driven by you. I feel like you are the brand of Pace Fit Sac. Like I said, we'll talk about your team as well because you got some amazing team members. But what has been your source? You've got social media. Is it word of mouth? How much, you know, commercials do you do? That kind of thing. What works for you best?
Okay, so in 2020, I noticed I fell in this by accident. So we were all kind of in a crappy place, right? Like everyone is just sort of like, oh, this sucks, you know, not much fun was going on. And so when I started bringing people into the backyard in the outdoor gym, we started to have fun. And one thing that I started doing was in class, I like to make fun of people. Like it's like we just poke fun at each other, you know, it's like it's very lighthearted and, you know, people enjoy it. I don't know what it does. It just creates this like level of comfort. Like, okay, nobody's perfect here. Like, let's just all be us. And so what I started doing is I would take little videos of them working out and I would just like I'd post it onto our Instagram stories and tag them and do something funny. Like when they're running, like have a little Roadrunner character running next to them, or like, you know, someone fell over and I make some like silly, like sound effect from them falling, and they just loved it. And they started reposting it on their platforms, on their social media platforms. And then we started to get, you know, people texting me like, hey, I saw my friend is going to your gym. I keep seeing all her posts. It looks like you guys are having so much fun. I want to come try it. So I never used social media up until that point, and it just started out as a fun thing to do for my athletes. I also used it as a tool for coaching them. So I started recording them, and then it was an easy way to get them their videos and photos, and also to put it onto our page. So I would tag them and say, hey, you know, check out the depth on your squat. If we just push your knees out a little bit, you'll be able to get lower. And then they could watch it for themselves, almost like a little homework assignment. Yeah. And then the next time they come in, be able to digest that and try, you know. We do that kind of coaching in person, but it's cool for somebody to go back and watch themselves. It's just that extra layer to bring it home, you know, like, oh, I see what coach saw and why she said that, you know. So that's how the social media stuff started. I hired a coach who I started out with. He offers social media services, so he would actually do the posts and the videos for me, but I didn't feel like he could because he didn't know my community. How could he poke fun at them? Like, that's my job. Right. But he coached me on like hashtags and, you know, all the technical aspects, which was super helpful. So I started being more effective in my posts. And so it just grew, and the people coming in as a result of that grew as well. When I transitioned into merging with this other gym, I let him go and just sort of kept going on my own, you know, just different budgets and all that. And now I've hired somebody who does about 70% of the social media.
But you hit on it, Monique, you hit on a very important point, because I'm going through this right now. I do all my social media. And a big part of that is because I know I have that personal touch. And so therefore, I'm the one that can deliver that message or take that photo or know exactly how it's going to look. I mean, that had to be a tough transition for you too. And tell me what the current person is doing that you really do like, where you felt like, you know what, this is a benefit to Pace Fitness.
So she's one of my athletes. She's been with me for years. So she's heard me coaching. She knows my beliefs. She understands our message. She knows the members. She's also a professional photographer. So she started her photography business in 2020. I helped her get started. I helped host an event for her, helped her set up her social media. And then when I think at some point I just made an offer. I said, I want you to be my social media person. You already have the content, the photo content. So, you know, sure, she doesn't write exactly what I would write, but she's got the message right, you know, and sometimes I'll go in and I'll edit a few things here and there, but she puts the content out, and it doesn't need to be perfect, you know, as long as the message is on brand, you know, and it's what I truly believe, I'm fine with it, you know. That's good. We do have like a social media posting schedule, and we have meetings regularly, making sure she's getting the right stuff out and events and things. And then I still do my silly posts, you know, I haven't stopped that.
Can't stop
but she
that.
Does the more, no, but she does like the regular, like systemized posts.
Okay. Well, that's very educational for me, because like I said, I'm going through that transition right now. I'm actually going to hire my daughter-in-law, who is kind of that same thing. Just knows social media and stuff. And so we're meeting and stuff to just try to figure that out. So it's good. That definitely helped me out. All right, 2 segments in and 1 to go. I hope you're enjoying today's conversation with Monique Leacox. I tell you what, I am fired up, but what if I told you there's more to come? That's right. You got to listen to the whole episode in its entirety. In the first segment, we heard from Pit Boss Jerky and Little Whale Swim School. We got two others I'd love to tell you about. Matt the Mortgage Guy, that's Matt Gouget, and he is featured in episode 28. What does he do? Well, refinancing loans, and not only does it do it locally, he's gotten so good, him and his team, that they have now partnered with U Mortgage to where he can do this for the entire world. That's right. Or at least this nation, I should say. How has he done that? Well, a big part of it is his YouTube presence. See, Matt, the Mortgage Guy, just started doing videos. Well, it took off. He's now got over 500 videos, over 1 million views. And basically what he does is he talks about, mortgage education along with real estate and personal finance. Even does a live chat every Monday at 6 o'clock. You can find him at Matt the Mortgage Guy. But for the business part of it, I want to invite you to go to mtmg.com. That's Matt the Mortgage Guy, shortened down. You can also reach him at 916-802-9291. On the website, you're going to find tools like the home purchase qualifier, refinance rate checker, today's mortgage rates, and of course, loan options. Here's the deal. There's a personal touch for me. Me and my wife went through a refinance, went through Matt. Him and his team were with me every step of the way from beginning to finish. Took about a month. Guess what? Success. Got to the finish line. And so I don't know if that'll happen for you. I have a good feeling it will. I think the big thing for me, whether it was going to work out or not, is that the team was available to me every step of the way. So if I had a question, boom, I'd shoot off an email. I would usually get a response within the hour, but I think it was even shorter than that. So a big thank you to Matt the Mortgage Guy, Matt Gouget. Also, want to thank R5 Stitch and Print, one of our original sponsors on the program. I am talking about Troy Rousey. He is featured in episode 25. He has got a great story that you've got to hear. They specialize in screen printing and embroidery, featuring high precision stitching and large format printing. I have seen the machines myself. When Troy opened up this aspect, just so you know, he has a motorcycle shop. That's part of the story that you got to hear in episode 25. But then he opened up printing. And when he got the machines, these are not just your average Joe machines. These are high-level machines. And he has exploded with this business in screen printing and embroidery. In fact, he has an in-house graphic designer. They have a team that will sit down with you, help you map out your needs, whether you need a logo or just figuring out what you need for your team or anything personal. So again, that's r5print.com. Check them out. So R5 Stitch and Print, along with Matt the Mortgage Guy, two proud sponsors of Experience the Buzz. Now, final segment of this great conversation with Monique Leacox coming your way right now.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss an episode of Experience the Buzz by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. It means everything. Now, back to the show.
So again, we're resetting. Monique Leacox is with us. She is a coach of Pace Fitness Sacramento. It's on Auburn Boulevard. And we're really getting a unique look at, first of all, starting this type of business to what CrossFit is, which I think that was very educational because it's, for me, like CrossFit, all I remember is when Nike came out with CrossFit shoes. Like way back when. I remember that was a big thing. Like, it's not just a tennis shoe, it's a CrossFit shoe. And I got it, but then I didn't know what to do with it. I just look good. I look good. Yeah. But another thing that you hit, Monique, that I love is that you talked about the big box gym and then your sort of gym. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking, you know what? When it comes down to it, I've got to guess that 9 out of 10 people want direction. Right? They want direction. They want a person that can guide them and cares for them, has the background of knowing, hey, how can I help you maximize why you are here in the first place? Anybody who signs up for a regular gym membership, let's face it, I mean, unless you really know what you're doing, it's a daunting task because you go in and you're just overwhelmed. Have I hit the target there?
Yeah, in fact, I just recently went through what's called brand hero interviews. Have you ever heard of that? Where you take so the idea is that you take the people, your clients that you would like to replicate, the people you love training, the people who you love coaching, they bring their family and friends in, they come to all the community events. They are a brand hero, meaning like if you were to put someone's face up as like, this is our type of athlete, that's who they are. Okay, so I did a series of, I interviewed 4 couples that train here with us. And the most common response to one of the questions about why do you do CrossFit as opposed to any other program, is the programming and the direction. They walk in, it's 1 hour long. They walk in, they don't have to think about the program. They know it's effective. They know it's going to work. They're going to get taught what to do. Very clear instructions. They're going to get their stretching in. They're going to get their strength in, their cardio health in. All of it is going to get covered in 1 hour. And all they have to do is show up. And I would say too, like as a CrossFit athlete, never mind me as a coach and a gym owner, as a CrossFit athlete, it's still the thing I value most, is just being able to show up to a class and in 1 hour, I will have covered everything I need to cover. Like, don't have to think. I train early in the morning, and for a long time I trained at 5 a.m. where you like walk in, you're like half asleep. You're like, just put my hand on the bar. There it is. Okay, great. And start doing stuff, right? And you don't have to think about it. All you have to do is put on your clothes and show up, right?
I love
it's
it.
like, that's CrossFit. And then on top of that, it's minimal time. It's 1 hour. You go into a gym full of machines and you pull up an online program, you can spend 2 hours getting through that list, right? And in here, it's just like boom, 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 mobility's done. You know, we even do massage work where we teach our athletes how to use foam rollers and lacrosse balls. We'll do work in class in that hour. You cover all your bases and you're doing what is proven to be the most effective fitness program in the world. So
see, I love this. I love this.
Yeah.
I mean, this totally makes sense. That answer right there is like, that's blueprint right there. I think everybody needs to grab onto that and say, that is the business model for what it is. But I also know you're a big reason for that. You can tell, because like I said, every review that I read, your name was in the first sentence. So again, it comes back to that personalization. And the other part too, like you mentioned, the kid factor. Like that's huge, because if you have moms with babies and kids, it's like you now have this space for that, which I don't think other places would offer. Not too many would offer.
yes, and that's really true. Now, to understand that, I started CrossFit because I had a 1-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I started CrossFitting. So I was one of those athletes who would go to the gym and I would do an hour of weightlifting, an hour of cardio, and then I would play basketball for an hour in the gym. So I spent 3 hours messing around in the gym, and I had pretty good fitness. You know, I had a little sport in there, worked some agility. I had my cardio. So I had that long, sustainable, ability. And then I had some strength. And then I had a child who did not allow me 3 hours of fiddling around in the gym, right? Yes. I mean, I could take him to childcare and he'd last about 30 to 45 minutes. And it was like, okay, now all of a sudden my fitness is on this like downward trend. And then he'd cry in the middle of my workouts and I had to go get him. And I was like, is it even worth it? And then I moved away and I was in a town that had 0 gyms, no gyms in the whole town. And so I connected up with a friend who had a CrossFit gym in her garage, meaning just basic equipment. And she followed CrossFit programming. My son was just 1 at the time. And I was like, yeah, he doesn't have a very long attention span. She's like, don't worry, I'll get you a workout in 20 minutes. I was like, no way. So we tried it. I put him in the corner in the garage. I gave him his little iPad and crossed my fingers and started in on this CrossFit workout, right? And we got it done. I was like, hey, that works. Can we do it again tomorrow? So we did it again and we did it again. And I was like, dude, this is awesome. And my fitness started on the upward trend with even less time. So having the kid was the reason CrossFit worked. And then when I was at home with 2 babies, a 3-year-old and an infant, again, I needed to be in and out, even in my own garage. I had to get it in while they were napping and get out, and I got interrupted all the time and whatever, but at least it was just this quick assignment that I could actually manage that was effective. Because it's one thing to be like, okay, go run in place for 20 minutes. Well, 1, that's going to get really boring and it's not going to last. So it's not going to be effective. And 2, you're not going to get a lot out of that. Right. So that's why I started CrossFitting. And when I created the gyms, it had to be doable with kids. I was like, that's why I started. I want this to be available to parents. Like that's probably, okay. So there's lots of reasons why people don't invest in starting a new program or start a gym or whatever.
Give it to us.
Number one reason. Yeah. So the number one reason is that they're scared of failing. They're scared of starting something and not being able to pursue it or continue it. Like they're scared of, it not fitting in their schedule so they can't do it regularly. They're scared of not being able to keep up with the diet. They're scared of failing, right? And the kids are a big factor, right? Oh, well, I can bring them for this first one, but what's going to happen in the second one? What's going to happen for the third one? And, what if they don't like it? And what if they don't like childcare? And it's fear of not being able to be consistent and follow through, right? It's that fear of failure. And so I wanted to set this place up so that factor wasn't there. It wasn't the kids that weren't going to want to come. It wasn't the kids that would interrupt them in a way that they couldn't do their workout. And with new moms, I always set the expectation, especially kids that are on their feet, right? It's one thing with babies, but kids on their feet, they're going to interrupt you. And that's, they're going to come on down. They're like, hi, Mom. I got to go pee. Mom. And you're like right in the middle of doing pull-ups and you're like, okay, right now, okay, let's go. And so I set the expectation, like just show up and expect to be interrupted. The coaches will help with whatever we can help with. If the kid just needs, the iPad to get turned back on or whatever, or where's the basketball, we can help with that. If the kid's got to pee, you got to take him to the bathroom, and that's no big deal. You still came in. Yeah, your workout got interrupted, but whatever. It's better than you staying at home and just giving up at the get-go, So, that's kind of how we set up the gym. And when I hired the coaches, it was, hey, we do kids here. Like that, they are welcome. They are not a nuisance. You are not to get annoyed. Like they are part of the deal. And that's just our like from the ground up, we were built with that. And it just is, right? So we have lots of families, lots of kids. They work out with us in class. I bought little tiny 3-pound weights that look just like the grown-up weights. We used to have these ones that were colorful and the kids were like, oh no, that's not what mom's using. So I bought ones that look just like mom and dad. And so the kids will just grab those or they'll grab a PVC pipe when we're using barbells. We usually last for like 10 minutes, get bored and go back to the kid room, but they're very much involved in the community.
I think that's absolutely huge because what you've done is you've allowed yourself to be available for such a bigger audience. And I think that's important. I understand, businesses that are concentrated in stuff, but like I've always felt that on my end too, is like with basketball, like my big thing is we're a rec basketball league. Well, guess what? 9 out of 10 parents, that's what they want. They don't want the AAU. They just want their kid to go out and be able to play basketball. And I think because of all these things that you've mentioned, it's like I think is the attraction to why people come your way.
Yeah. And it does deter people. Like, the 20-year-olds who just want to take their shirt off and look good. Yeah. This isn't really their gym. And that's okay. Yeah. I've always loved servicing moms, dads, grandparents, like the families. That's my favorite thing. It's my, just those moments of like, this is amazing. It's when we've got grandma and grandpa, mom and dad, and the kids all in the same workout. And that's a real scenario that we have on the regular basis here. We have several families where we have 3 generations that train here and they train together in the exact same class, doing the exact same workout.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And that's unique to CrossFit. There's no other program out there where you can put a kid, a mom and dad, and grandparents into the same class and have them doing the same things. Of course, there's modifications in terms of weight or like, kids don't have the same kind of control as adults have. And so there might be modifications in the tools they're using, or, you don't coach them as strictly on like, oh, you got to touch the ground with your chest, or you got to, it's like, whatever, you just let them move around and do their thing and tell them good job. And then they feel accomplished and like they did the exact same thing mom and dad did. So, and that's definitely unique to CrossFit. I've never heard of another program where that
I love it. I love it. The personalization that provides for the whole family. So you've mentioned team. Let's talk about the team. We got Nick, we got Andrew, Luis, Alex. Did I hit them all?
Yeah.
Talk to me about the guys.
Okay. So our head coach is Nick Pierce, and he's been coaching I always get this wrong because I think he's been coaching longer than he has, a little over 2 years, I'm guessing. And I met him because we trained at the same gym together. And when I put out an ad saying, hey, I'm looking to hire, this was when we were in the backyard. He was one of the coaches who responded. He came, he tried out, he did great. Probably the most amazing thing about Nick is how dedicated he is to being really good at coaching. So in the 2 years that he's been coaching, he's developed more than I've seen other coaches develop. Like, in other words, you watch him coach a class and you're like, you've only been coaching for 2 years. It's like, it's a big difference, right? So that's Nick. And then we have Andrew, who was also coaching at another gym, came to us to get more experience in coaching. He only had like a class a day, 3 days a week or something like that. So we gave him a nice class load, and he's working on his development as well. That's sort of a common thread between all of us, is that we don't feel good enough, right? We don't feel good enough yet. So we're always working on being better. And coaching development, like developing other coaches, is very new to me. This is a new experience. I've only been doing it, I guess, a year and a half. And so I'm not very good at it. I'm always like, don't let me overwhelm you. Like, I just want to help you with one thing, you know? And so they are really patient with me. I work on my patience with them in developing them. So it's like slow and controlled and effective. And I don't just like overwhelm them with a bunch of ideas. And so Andrew's developing as well, but he's been coaching for 8 years. And then we have Alex, who actually got his first coaching credential as a CrossFit coach last year, started interning under me. And then I hired him on this year, and he too is developing. So we all read and we listen to podcasts and we practice, and we every day we have in the background, we have coaches notes. So there's the workout that the gym sees, and then there's notes in the background that only the coaches see. And in those notes, it talks about like the focus of the day and what to look out for, and, you know, make sure you drill this and practice this, or, you know, those sort of things. And so that is how we develop on a daily basis, right? Is we try to look at one thing and work on that one thing as a coach. Yeah. Right. So your attention to detail is like, it's like spot on. Like, I can feel the passion just like oozing from you. And you know what? That's what it is to be a small business owner, is that you really got to love what you do. And did we miss Alex? I don't want to leave Alex out. Well, that was Alex. So that's Alex. He's our newest coach. So he's only been on the floor for a couple months as a big coach. And then we have Luis. And Luis is not a CrossFit coach. Luis is special. He is an Olympic lifting coach. So he coaches the Olympic lifts, which is the clean and jerk and the snatch. And that's it. That's his thing. And he is amazing at it. So we offer, as part of our membership, we offer 3 classes a week in just the sport of Olympic lifting. So not CrossFit, just weightlifting. And that's his thing. So it's an hour-long class, an hour and a half long class. These, they're smaller groups. So we only take 8 people in there, and it's a lot of technique work. It's a lot of drills. It's a different sport, right? It's just like a totally channeled to that. We use weightlifting, Olympic lifting in CrossFit, but this pulls it out of CrossFit and stays true to the sport itself. Yeah. It's kind of like the difference between running in a CrossFit workout and just running, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay. I like it. The specialization. So that leads me into this. The process looks like the pricing is very, very good. Like, I looked at it, I said, like, okay, that's not bad at all. So take me through pricing, and someone like myself who makes that initial contact with you, whether it's by phone, email, or walks through the doors, take someone through the process of what it is like to become part of your family at Pace Fitness Sacramento.
Sure. So I'm very transparent about price and money and why we charge what we charge. Our rates are higher than other gyms in the area. And it's real simple. We offer only an unlimited membership. So we don't offer limited memberships. Like, if someone only wants to train 2 days a week, we are not going to be effective for that person. And so we don't offer it. we don't offer anything where we don't get to give everything that we want to give to a person to help them reach their goals. So our memberships are unlimited. You come as much as you want. If you want to start off with less days a week, that's fine, but we're going to build you up to an effective training program, which is going to be 4 to 5 days a week. Okay. And so the idea is, and I've gone back and forth. We did limited memberships twice in the past. And the problem is it limits someone's ability to reach their goals and to become healthier and fitter. And so what they'll do is they'll go, oh, well, I'm only on the 3-day-week membership, so I'm not going to come a 4th day. And it's like, okay, but it's the 4th day that's going to put you over the edge towards your goals. Yeah, but that's $20 more a month. And when you look at that, you're like, so you're not willing to pay $20 more to reach your goals. Like, really? And it's like when you look at it, when we're talking about it, you're like, that's so silly, but it's a real thing, you know? And so we just say, look, I'm going to sell you right up front. I'm going to say, it's $200 a month. That's it. I'm going to take all your money up front, and then I'm going to sell you over the next 10 years your fitness, right? I'm going to sell you on coming more often. I'm going to sell you on coming through our nutrition program. I'm going to sell you on coming to all our skill clinics, our running clinics, our jump rope clinics, our rowing clinics, our weightlifting clinics. I'm going to sell you on getting to your goals, but I'm not going to take any more money from you. Like, that's it. It's a flat rate. And my job is like just to get you to your goals at that point. So that's why we do just the unlimited membership. When people come in and they're like, I'm in it, I'm going to stay an entire year, we give them a discount. So it comes down to $175 a month. We also have a 6-month commitment as well. It's $185. Super transparent about it. I'd rather someone knows the rates before they even call me, right? And then the process is always come and try a class, always. So they, you know, it's like, even if they're like, okay, I'm ready to join, I'm like, nope, you need to come try a class. I don't want to take your money and take you through this process to have you come in and be like, it's just not a good fit for me. Because the truth is, we may not be a good fit for some people. They may not like the kids that are around, or they might feel overwhelmed by a group setting and need to do something one-on-one, or you know, whatever. Like, they need to come and experience it and see if it's right for them. And then once they've tried class, then they decide, yes, I want to do this, or no, I don't. And I will help them. I have other services as well. So I have clients who just do nutrition coaching with me. They do not train in the gym. I have people who are on the at-home training program who do not train in the gym, right? So, and then I also deliver personal training still. And so, you know, depending on what's right for that person, I will still try to help them with their goals in whatever is going to work.
I love that. And I mean, we haven't even hit on the fact nutritional coaching, which is a huge component when you are working out or doing CrossFit. So can you hit on that a little bit? Because that is a very important piece.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not a nutritionist. I am a coach. So there's a big difference. I'm not a dietitian. I am a coach. I'm a fitness coach. Now, to achieve fitness goals, pretty much anyone's fitness goals, there is a food component. There is a fuel component, right? We can't get you to a lower body fat percentage on purpose without including food as a piece that we need to coach and direct on. So the nutrition coaching that I do is purely data driven. We use an in-body scanner, which you can do. A lot of like nutrition shops have them. Mine's right back there if you can see it. It assesses body fat percentage. It gives us how much muscle mass you have, how much fat you have. And then this machine, which is a little bit of an upgraded model, gives also a quantification on water balance in the body. So the biggest error on these types of machines that use electricity to assess the body is hydration. So what can happen is if an athlete scans hydrated and then comes back and scans dehydrated, we get different numbers just based on hydration. So what the machine does is it takes that variable out by telling us what's happening in terms of hydration, right? So that's what the machine does. So what we do is we scan you to see where you're at. And then for 2 weeks, we write down everything you put in your body, all food, right? And then we scan you again. And then from the changes, we assess what you did in between. So if your body fat percentage or your body fat, let's say you lost 5 pounds of fat mass and you kept your muscle on your body, we would look at, okay, well, what did you eat? Because it freaking worked. Let's figure out exactly what you did and then keep doing that, right? Or let's say you lost 5 pounds of fat, but you also lost 5 pounds of muscle. We would look at, okay, we did good. We lost fat, but one of your goals is you want to not lose muscle, or you want to gain muscle. And so we look at, what did you do, right? And then we go, okay, so let's add some protein here. Let's do more of this, less of this, right? That sort of thing. And then we make adjustments, and then another 2 weeks of logging, and we scan again. The goal, like the end product of the coaching, is that you're living your life that feels normal. You do not feel like you're on a diet. You're just eating the way you eat and moving towards your goals. So it's taking your lifestyle and aligning it to your goals, not my goals.
Right.
So I have athletes who are like, I just want to drink wine every night and not let my body fat percentage get over 25%. I'm like, cool, we can do that. That's a real thing. We can set you up so you can drink wine every night and keep your body fat percentage under 25%, right? So it's aligning the lifestyle to the goals and then teaching you how to do it so it just feels normal and you don't have to log food and you don't have to measure food and it's just how you eat. Like, that's the goal. Yeah, and it's real. Like, people think that's impossible. It's real. Like, I eat that way. Many, many people live that way. And so it's teaching people how to get there, and it's not a fast process. And for some people, it's quicker than others. The final phase of the coaching, before I like let people go for, scanning every 3 months or whatever, just to check on things, the final phase is eating for a month without logging your food and still going towards the goal. So if you don't achieve it in that month, then we do it again. We start logging again. We learn how that feels and how that looks. And then you try again without the log, right? So
okay, so is that service right there, is that part of the membership, or is that something that's separate?
That is part of our membership.
Wow, that's huge.
Yes. And this is something that was lacking for a long time. When I was just focused on coaching movement, when I was in class, the coach all the time on the floor, I did not have a nutrition program developed. I tried outsourcing it. I tried, kind of touching on it here and there with people as much as I could, but I didn't have the available resources. And it wasn't until last year that we had like a real coaching team established that I could finally pull away and figure this out. And now it just freaking flies. They report into me every single day. There's lots of accountability. There's appointments on the book so that I don't lose track of anybody. And it's not a huge time suck for me. There's a lot of work in the front end, but once they're kind of rolling and things are just moving, and the check-ins usually are like, great, everything's going the way it's supposed to. Keep doing what you're doing.
I love it.
Assessment. Yeah, we look at calories, proteins, fat, and carbs, and then we go, okay, good. You're staying in your calorie zone. Your fats are good. And sometimes they're doing something different than the goals, and it's working. And so we reset, right? It's all based on what was actually done, not on what coach said you should do.
Well, this is definitely a unique fitness journey, and I am so glad, Monique, that we had the opportunity to really kind of open this door. Everybody knows about fitness, but I think just to me, the words that ring true are personalization, customization, kid-friendly, the journey, right? The journey, which is a lifetime, right? It's not about, losing pounds in a month or so. We're all trying to establish a lifestyle, something that we can hold on to for the rest of our life. And I think you have created that space. And so what I wanted to do is just kind of finish out on a light note. I'm a big logo guy. So I'm curious of what went into the logo, why you chose, Pace Fitness Sacramento, and then the logo itself, what's behind that?
Okay, so the logo is a stopwatch.
Yep.
Right. So that comes from, there's two things. One, my track background, running. You're always on the clock, right? Pacing. So that's the other thing, right? Pace. The idea of pace is that you're pacing yourself. This is a lifelong journey. This isn't something, it's not a quick fix. You are not going to be able to do this for a little while and then quit and be able to maintain what you built. Like, that will go away. So it's pace yourself for the long journey. So when athletes come in here and they start smashing their bodies, it's like, whoa there, pull back. This is one workout of a million. Relax, right? And it's just your health, and being able to come back tomorrow is way more important than what you do today, right? So that's the pace part. So the stopwatch represents pacing yourself and just the clock involvement in what we do. And also, like, you know, lifespan has a clock on it, right? Unfortunately, we don't like to talk about it, but, you know,
it's the truth.
We're all dying. So, and then the infinity sign is to represent like that lifespan, right? Like forever. We're doing this forever. We're doing this till the end of your life. So if you go into it with that in mind, instead of, oh, I'll do this for a month, it's a different, mindset. It's like, oh, I mean, whatever, you know, maybe I go kind of easy today. No big deal. I'll be back tomorrow. Right. So that's the infinity sign. It represents like the whole life fitness, right? The colors. So I hired a professional artist to do this. And she gave me like what colors mean and the emotional responses of colors. And so when I explained to her like the feeling I wanted people to have, it was, I want them to continue to feel like they're coming to my home. So that's where the gym started. And when I first left the garage, I had a member say, I really miss the house. I really miss just coming to the house and having coffee. So when we did the logo, it was like, I designed the whole gym around that comment that she gave me. And when we did the logo, I said, I want it to feel homey. I want it to feel comfortable, soothing. You know, I like to say, I'm going to make you as comfortable as possible while I make you extremely uncomfortable. You know, I just want you to feel like you're at home and really comfortable so I can make you really uncomfortable.
That's right. You're going to kick their butt, and I'm sure you do that.
Yeah. So that's the turquoise. She liked the split. That was actually just a survey. Like I surveyed the members. There was different stopwatch designs, and the athletes voted on the split color. Okay. You know, so that was cool. I like it a lot. And then our motto is, it's about time. So it's about time for a fitness program like this. It's about time that you get off your butt. It's about time we also use the clock to measure our fitness. So how long does it take you to do that amount of work? And then a month from now, how long does it take you to do that same amount of work? If that time has not improved, we need to do something, and it's probably dietary related. Right.
So
probably.
Yeah. So Monique, I cannot get out of here with what you delivered today. Like, I just feel like, man, that could have been a TED Talk. Like, that was so good what you delivered today. Yeah, no, it was very impressive. And me, you know, sitting here as a 53-year-old man, like, very educated on some things I knew about but didn't quite know all about. And you really provided that information. So I'm thinking of young entrepreneurs, whether they want to start a business or whatever. I am so big on the entrepreneur mindset. Go to college if that's for you. But we have seen, I think, in this world that, you know, things look different for everybody. So I was wondering if you could just speak to the young entrepreneur out there that's thinking about maybe an idea, or in the case of what you did, thinking of, how do I put this within, you know, 4 walls? What would that message be?
Sure. Wow. Okay. So I come from a really unique family. At least I think we're unique. I have a twin sister and a little brother, and we all followed our dreams. We didn't take the typical route. So my sister's a book illustrator. She draws all day and gets paid for it. My brother owns Sacramento Baseball Academy, and which he might be someone fun to talk to. And I do this, right? So he was a baseball's his life, just like fitness is mine and art is hers. And we all just followed our dreams. So, you know, well done to my parents for raising us knowing that we could, and, you know, and then supporting us through that. You know, at least my journey, and we touched on this in the beginning, has been freaking hard. It is freaking hard. And there's no security, zero. That's the hardest part. It's all on you, whether you do or you don't. There's no magic. There's no magic pills. It's really easy to go on social media and see these people who are like, I'm making, you know, however many figures, and it took me 2 weeks. And you're like, okay, you know, like, all I've been doing this for 16 years. What's wrong with me? You know, it's like, I think, you know, yeah, having your dreams, just knowing the costs and be willing to experience the costs, because, you know, I could have gone the physical therapy route. That's where I was headed. And I decided early on that I wanted to work with regular people with, you know, regular lives, not people who are just coming out of surgeries or injured, or, you know, I wanted to help make people just better, not necessarily fix people. Right. Yeah. And so I decided to stick with the fitness stuff and not go the more like medical physical therapy stuff. And I didn't really know the cost of that. And what that really meant in the fitness space, but until years later. You know, the fitness world is a tough one. Now, other businesses, you know, there's, you know, it's a different market. So there's different money and things like that, different overheads. But I would say just realizing that it's freaking hard work. Like, and there's a lot of, you know, working for free. There's a lot of working for free. Like you have to be willing to work for free, and you better have a good reason for doing it, right? Yep. And then you have to figure out your worth and make sure you start charging for it, you know? But the truth is, in the beginning, we're not worth much. And so you start out working for free until you're worth something, and then you charge for it, right? So it's like this, you know, it's income's light on the front end, and then hopefully it's heavy on the back end, but it's not. You don't get to walk into your industry charging what the guy who's been doing it for 20 years is charging, you know, and you can, it's just good luck.
No, the aspect of hard work, perseverance, sticking with it is like, that has never changed. And the whole security now, even behind a college education, it's not there. I've seen a lot of kids that graduate from very esteemed universities that are working in the local restaurant, you know? So that's the thing, is like, set your own path, but know, like you said, it's going to be hard work. It's going to take a while to make some money. And yeah, you may have to do some side jobs, but that's what the hustle is all about, because now you sit and look what you've created. You've created something special that we are very fortunate to have right here in the Sacramento area. Monique, in respect to your time, I know you had to go get to a client. Let's finish off with this. Tell everyone how they can find you. Of course, we'll have everything in the show notes for everyone, but I want you to give them all the avenues of how they can get in contact with you.
Okay, so the easiest thing is just go on our website, which is pacefitsac.com, and go sign up now, and then select free trial. That's the easiest route. Just sign up now, free trial, come try a class out. It just takes you through a waiver, and then you reserve the class you want to come into. So it'll show all our class times. We have early morning all the way through the day. We even have a lunchtime class, and then we have the evening classes. So that's the easiest route. If someone wants to talk to me, they can just call me or text me. My number's on the website, 916-224-4362. Always, like, I just, you know, one thing, especially as like my role changed, I just want to continue to be available for people. And I am more than happy to talk to people. I will talk to people. I will talk you through your fears. I will talk you through your questions. Like, I'm totally fine with it. I'm never too busy to talk to people. So, you know, if that's more, you know, if you don't want to just come in and bounce yourself in here, then just give me a call, text me. We can have a text conversation, you know. Instagram, you can find me on Instagram. I am not very good at checking my Instagram messages, or my Facebook messages. Those take a little longer. So texting me is way more direct. But yeah, ultimately just come see us. So that's the easiest.
Wow. Pace Fitness Sacramento, folks. I hope this conversation was as good for you as it was for me. And Monique, we are just so happy that you gave us the time. Thank you for joining us today. It was great having you.
Yeah, so I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
When are you going to come try class?
I knew it. You know what?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, as I was thinking, I'm like, okay, I've got to make this work. Because here's the deal. I got Peloton in my house, okay? And I've got the bike. And I've got, you know, the running machine, whatever that would be called. What's that called? That's called
elliptical?
Not an elliptical, just, you know, just.
True form?
Thank you. I think treadmill. There we go. It's a treadmill. But see, here's where I noticed the difference. I'm guiding myself, right? I'm letting those people just kind of take me through, and I need some guidance. So you'll be seeing, I'm going to work it out. I'm finding a way to work this out because
it just starts with one class.
Exactly. Exactly. So just know that you will see me soon. I'm going to act upon that. I'm at least going to come try it and then go from there, because I do see where that would be a huge benefit. And if I have you on, I've got to be proof in the pudding, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you, for somebody like you who's got like a lot of, irons in the fire, and you're busy, and you probably wake up and you've got all these ideas, and I mean, that's kind of the entrepreneurial life, right? You wake up and you're like, ooh, so many things to do, you got to train in the morning, like first thing in the morning. I do not stay consistent trying to train midday, because my work brain is already going, especially I train in my place of work. I mean, that's rough. I'm like, ooh, something to do in that corner. Ooh, I could do this. I could clean the bathrooms, So for me, like, and for busy moms and people with jobs and then kids and then this and that, you got to do it first thing in the morning before the world distracts you. Like half asleep, just a habit. You come in 6 a.m., done, 7 a.m. on to real life, right? Otherwise, just it's the discipline it takes to overcome those barriers that life throws at you. It'll wear you down. It won't last. Yep. It's like 4 o'clock, you're tired, you've been working your butt off, and kids, and you have kids?
I have 3 kids, but they're all older. Okay. They're in their 20s.
Okay. Yeah. So they're not distracting you anymore.
Not at all.
I have
they are, but in different ways. It's a phone call. Dad, okay. I need money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, mine distract me all the time. They're 7 and 10. So
I love it.
But yeah, it's got to be first thing in the morning for people like us, I think, and just get those juices flowing and then get on with your day.
Okay.
Don't try to stop your day to go get fitness in.
Look at that.
Just do it at the get-go.
Monique, she never stops. I love it. Just go, 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 go. Well, that's it. It's Monique Leacox from Pace Fitness Sacramento. Very happy for the time that we were able to have. That's all I got for now. Talk to you next time.
Okay.
Goodbye, everyone. All right, so there you have it. Monique calls me out. When are you coming in, Steve? I am going to work on that, because I will say that now, listening to what I've listened to, yes, I've got the Pelotons, but I need direction. So I'm really going to try to act on this. The getting up morning, well, I'm retired, so I was enjoying sleeping in, but we'll see if we can switch that around. Overall, I just thought today was a great conversation. Now understanding what CrossFit is, understanding that finding a gym like this is important. Like, you want to find a place that's like Cheers, right? Where everybody is welcome. I think Monique has definitely done that. So if you're inspired, I'd say just dial it up, go find Monique. And here's the other part that I didn't mention in the episode. I love when small business owners make themselves available. They're not out of touch with the people they are serving. Monique is certainly that. So I'm fired up as a small business owner to see the success of Pace Fitness Sacramento, and I hope you will be too. Good stuff. And just, again, another great story to share with you. And I invite you to, just listen to episodes in the past where you can hear these kinds of stories of small business owners that are right here in Sacramento. And we've got all sorts of conversations. It's a lot of fun. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. And so that's all I got for now. We'll talk to you next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you for joining Steve this week on Experience the Buzz. Steve would love to hear from you. Leave a review or contact Steve directly with any questions at scbuzzard@gmail.com. To see the other adventures of Steve Buzzard, be sure to visit buzzardball.com.